In elevations, we'll have, and our elevations is still very much mid-price. In the industry, elevations for us, even though it's at the top tier, and you're getting a solid wood, hand laminated mango table from India, you'll see this similar product at 3 times the price. That we're able to execute at a great value. And even though we put it under elevations in terms of design and in terms of craftsmanship and material, it's still very much an affordable product, So where I used to come from in my previous life at America, I would never be able to do solid wood at this price point.
So is it the buying power that you have because of the volumes that you buy?
Yeah, the kind of factories that you're able to work with, what you can get them to create for you. When you don't buy enough, they might not want to put in the work to do this kind of, if you're only buying 50 at a time, it's a different story than if you're buying 300 at a time. So we're definitely able to become better partners with factories by our ability to buy high quantity for sure.
The relationship too, I guess, like it's the buying power or something, but the relationship that we have with the factories is important as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll have some cool product like a concrete tabletop here. This one does really well. Zinc top table. And then we have like a creative live edge in hickory veneer. This comes out of Indonesia with the hand inlaid bow tie. This is hickory wood from the US with a solid mahogany live edge, creative live edge.
It's beautiful. Now, how do you use this showroom? What's the purpose of the showroom?
So sometimes, mainly it's for our walk-in brick and mortar customers, and they, a lot of them don't get a chance to make it to market. So this is where we put a lot of the newest product, and they get to see, touch, feel. Some of those customers bring in their own customers, so we double as their showroom, just like we double as their warehouse. So
Designers.
Yeah, designers come in here, they shop. A lot. We have 9,000 dealers, of course, so those 9,000 dealers sometimes don't have the biggest space. We have a larger space than most of their stores, so they utilize us for that.
Is everything in this showroom inventoried? So if somebody comes in and they see this, wow.
Mm-hmm. So that's why, like, we serve as their warehouse, like, because a lot of them don't have warehousing. So that's why we're really well suited to be their partner, and that's why we figured the whole marketing aspect of it was the no-brainer next step. Yeah.
So so if I'm a dealer and I sell through, how quickly can I get new merchandise back in my store?
Because we stock it. So, I mean, if you wanted to pick it up today, you could...
Literally could come in with a truck and walk right out the same day.
Same day.
Wow, it's like cash and carry for retail
is.
dealers.
Yeah,
That's why it's easy to work with Coaster, because we have different solutions for different dealer. So if they want to buy it and pick up right away, we have it available as well in all the branches across the United States.
That's a logistical feat.
Yeah.
Okay, so who manages that?
So we kind of take care of that in general. Like, what we're trying to do right now is streamline the process, because cost is obviously one of the factors that we're trying to mitigate because of other factors like the tariff. So we are trying to look at the whole process and take out costs in the supply chain.
How has the tariff impacted your business?
It's awesome.
You heard that here first.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, because of that buying power, it gives us like the advantage of not be impacted very severely.
I mean, obviously, like, everybody feels it, but we have taken a hit to help our consumers because we're banking on the fact that it's not going to last, or hopefully not stay at 25. Mm-hmm. Like 10% I think is easy for most people to digest. 25 is when it gets a little bit hard.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
It's not like furniture is a super high margin business. Like, oh yeah, there's lots of margin to play with.
You know what's funny?
Distributor.
A lot of people think that furniture is like super high margin, and I feel like that's why people like Target and Walmart and whoever are trying to get into furniture. But it's just high dollars and high real volume, like cubic feet.
Right.
Like we import a lot of containers. That's why we're like in the top, I think, we're somewhere in the top 100 for the importers of all containers into Long Beach or into the US. So it's large, but it's not like high margin at all.
So some people are in for a rude awakening.
I think it's, yes. they think that it's like the,
No, I just
like
read
the
on
whole end
Furniture
all.
Today online yesterday, a little blurb from Gary Locke. You know, I came from Washington State, so Gary Locke used to be our governor, and under the Obama presidency, he was in China.
He was the ambassador to China.
Yeah. So he said tariff not going away anytime soon.
and
He's like,
That was my column.
Once you,
I wrote that.
Once it's there, it's very difficult to get rid of it. Don't count on it going away anytime soon.
Yeah, he made
At
the
all?
comment, well, some level of tariff. And what his point was that even if a Democratic administration were to come in Washington, policies are difficult to shift in short term. So in the longer term, it's likely that there will be some tariff there.
okay.
And so it may not be at that level, but it'll be there. And then there was another, I think his name was Evan Feigenbaum, who was a former Undersecretary of State for South Asia, and he was actually saying that for the last 30 years, trade imbalance has been an issue for the current president, and so that's kind of a consistency of his worldview. So he believes that within the next 3 quarters, it's likely that the president might look at Vietnam and India because we have such a large trade imbalance with those 2 countries, and he sees the tariff as a mechanism to address the trade imbalance. So it's likely that we'll see some tariff. And again, I think the reason that they think the tariff is going to stay on China is as an enforcement mechanism. So it may not stay at 25%, it may be negotiated down perhaps to 10% or 5%, but it's a way of maintaining some kind of pressure. So that seems to be the strategy.
But Vietnam is such a small country and population compared to China. I don't know if Vietnam can equalize trading, with the U.S.
I don't know if
I'm not really sure.
Well, I'm not sure that China could equalize trade with the U.S. either in terms of all of the things. I think it's just a matter of, and this is my hypothesis. I don't know. The president doesn't tell me. But my guess is it's just trying to get a little bit more equilibrium, right? I don't know that you could get, an exact even trade trade balance.
I mean, I know this whole thing started with, stolen software, stolen programs, that
Intellectual
we're saying-
property
Yeah.
protection.
Yes, that we're trying to get a foot in by gaining a way to negotiate, but I don't know what is there to negotiate with Vietnam.
Well, I think your point that 5 or 10% is something that
Yeah.
certainly manufacturers
Yeah.
can work into the cost structure of their business. I think the reason that 25% was imposed is because people were able to work with 5 or 10,
Yeah.
and so you need to create a pain point to get behavior change.
That's what everyone was saying. It's like they need to make them hurt first. And then I think that is the point in which it's more difficult. Like today, I think it was today, China depreciated their RMB.
currency?
Yeah. So I feel like they're accommodating.
Well, I think right after the 10%, if I remember correctly, right after the 10% tariffs were imposed, the Chinese currency went down by about 6%. So that negated,
yes.
right? So that
It did.
negated 6 of the 10% right there. It's much more difficult to devalue a currency, I would guess, by 25%.
Oh yeah.
So
But today I don't know how much it went down by, but my husband did tell me you should look out for that. I was like, yeah, that's probably how they're going to help with dealing with the tariff.
well, you also have other countries, though, that as you said, 8 different countries that you're sourcing in, and you already have relationships and factory relationships. So that probably gives you a little bit of leverage, I would think, too.
We're lucky that we're diversified. I know there's some people that are hurting a little bit more because of
They're
the
100% from China.
yeah. So that's a little more difficult. So we are diversified. So it does help us a lot. Like pretty much everything you walked by so far, a lot of it was not from China.
Ah,
Yeah,
so
except for upholstery.
upholstery. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, what comes from China is all the electroplated metal. You know, your upholstery, your leather, you know, your glass, stone tops.
interestingly, I've heard people start to say that there's the impact on product development, right? So electroplated metal you can only get from China. So I've seen people introduce less metal and glass or less metal accents and replace that with some other material. Or the way you're smiling, I'm guessing you've started to see some of that in your own product development.
You know what's amazing? Yesterday when I was looking at new introduction sales from Las Vegas, I did gamble and put a few electroplated new items from China. I did take a gamble. They sold really well, you know, in terms of quantities and you know, what branches they were sold out of. But so sometimes it makes me wonder, you know, all of the hype, negative hype, is so contained within our industry because, but not yet at the consumer level. You know, for sure, is it going to affect it negatively? For sure. You know, if I have a budget of $2,000 to spend on furniture, and now you're asking me to put in another 25%, I might have a problem with that. You know, but if I haven't been shopping for furniture, and I have no clue how much a bedroom set or a living room set costs, you know, I might be more flexible with my $2,000 that I want to spend, you know? So I'm not really sure how much of this we're creating for ourselves.
I wonder about that too.
We discussed it internally. Like, yeah, we were not sure.
Well, I think we'll find out. I mean, so far, I think the furniture manufacturers have done a very good job of insulating the consumer from the pain. I don't think there have been any significant price increases on retail selling floors yet. So I think as we move into the fourth quarter, it'll be interesting to watch as those price increases start to roll, whether we'll see any significant change. So.
Have you talked to people that, wholesalers or distributors that 100% of their product come from China? And they've moved already, obviously.
Well, some people are moving from China, but it's not like you can just pick it up and switch it.
You can't. It takes too long. Yeah.
I mean, we've talked to people who are opening factories in China. Well, where are the workers? They're having to wrestle with that. And furniture is not the only business that's going to China. I had heard somebody tell me about a huge Nike factory that was opening up right across the street from a furniture factory. So here you have somebody who's working in case goods finishing, which is probably the dirtiest part of furniture manufacture, or they can go sew sneakers across the street for a little bit more money, right? So that I don't think we've seen the implications of all of this yet. I think a lot still has to play out. And I mean, that was, if you saw our cover story at the Las Vegas market, right? It was very much about Vietnam cannot magically take all of China's business and transfer it. It's just not going to happen.
The port itself can't handle all of it. That just to begin with can't. Like the labor, I mean, everywhere we go now in Binyang is like, the labor is just becoming exponentially expensive. Like we have an office there and it's crazy like what people are driving it up to be.
Well, supply and demand, right?
Yeah.
There's not enough supply of labor, so of course they can charge more. Well, and the other thing is, like you said, the port can't handle it, the roads can't handle it.
Oh, the roads can't, no.
So, I mean, people don't realize the miracle that China created.
Shanghai is like the largest port in the world, right? I think it's the largest.
Well, and China's infrastructure is amazing. When you think about the investment that they've made in roads and bridges and ports, and I mean, it's an economic miracle. So you can't just snap your fingers and make that happen in another country.
It's too difficult, yeah.
Let's talk about something happy. Beautiful furniture.
Yes.
So most of this is elevations. What are we seeing?
And then we get
That's a beautiful table.
Yes, this one's so pretty.
This is solid shisham from India, and this does really well for us. So you go from having a really beautiful elevation product to over here one of the best-selling bedroom groups that comes out of Malaysia, and what we're talking about in engineered paper. So affordable, we can't even tell you.
And this is paper?
This is paper.
Wow, it's got texture and everything.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. And then here's what's neat. So you have a
Oh, a jewelry drawer.
Yes. So this is what an example of what I'm talking about. Whatever price point you're at, you gotta give customers some kind of excitement, some kind of twist. You know, it could just be a bling acrylic reveal here, or it could be a cool little secret drawer. You know, so this group does really well. We sell a lot of these beds online. Believe it or not, people buy beds online.
Well, I think it's easier. Well, you know, it's funny. People always talk about you can't sell a mattress online. People have to sit. Mattress business is doing really,
Crazy
really
well.
well online. Yeah, so much for you have to try it first.
Those days are gone. Yeah, those days are gone. Of you need to try it first. I'm still a trier. So one of our top sellers here, solid Shisham, 45 mm thick top all the way through, at a great value.
Is this solid wood?
Solid Shisham, which is part of the rosewood family. And I think the special thing about this table is that not only is it solid Shisham, but it's thick, and it's not a faux built up edge. It's thick all the way across. So it is really tomorrow's heirloom. It's gonna last forever, if forever exists.
Bill's shopping right now.
But the way they do
I am.
this great Shisham finish is wherever there's white parts in the wood grain, they take a brush by hand and paint the gray finish on the white parts. So there's a lot of handcrafted workmanship on this table and bench.
You know, I think if consumers understood all of the work that goes into a piece of furniture like that, they would be much more appreciative of the value. We need to find a way to tell people those stories.
They do a lot of work in product development. So I think what we're trying to do is just pass that along, because it really is a shame where they know all of this and we try to express all of it at market, but then the end consumer, who is the one purchasing, doesn't get a chance to hear it. So that's what we're trying to do with the marketing, content, trying to gather all of that.
Yep, so let's step over here to
Okay.
an Essence bedroom group. This group is a really good demonstration of Essence tier by giving our customers still English dovetail finished drawer boxes, 45 mm metal glides, removable jewelry tray, a light hand wire brush finish, exclusive to Coaster. We also have USB chargeable ports in the nightstand. So even at Essence level, you're getting all the bells and whistles that an Elevations group would offer, you know, in terms of adding enjoyment and functionality to your furniture. So this is what we're trying to do in every tier, is to build value and functions and design all together. Want to talk about this?
So this is our version of, it's a cloud-like sofa. When you sit down, it is,
Please.
it's that deep seating.
People love to put me in furniture. I don't know what it is.
It
You're in
is
the right
deep
business for
seating.
that.
Oh, I'll see you
There we
later.
go.
Yeah. So
Bye, Nick. Bye, viewers. It's my nap time.
it's a reversible feather down seat cushion. It has a pocket coil spring cushion, which allows it to give you that ride, but then it gives you the fluff with the down. It is a huge seat. It's super deep, and it gives you that very loungy feel that you have. And this is actually great because it's modular. So if you put those three together, you kind of have a sofa, but you can build up, or like you can make it smaller depending on the space that you have.
Yeah, so basically 3 SKUs. You got a corner, you got an armrest, and you got an ottoman. And you can create so many different options from these 3 SKUs. And it's one of our top sellers because of the effect.
Yeah.
It just sits really well, and it's you know, for homes that don't want recliner furniture, but they want a lounging situation, this is it.
Like this is the couch that you have in your den or your living room or your family room that you like watch TV, lounge in.
Yeah, I mean, if I wasn't in your showroom, I'd put my feet up, but
I'm a tall guy. For
And
me,
it's-
this is very comfortable.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't want to get up.
It's high performance fabric, so you can actually put your feet up.
Oops, sorry, I'm touching it. But yeah, the fabric is polyester, so you can actually clean it. Like I have a similar type material in my house, and my kids color with crayons. They get oil and food all over it. You just clean it with like a rag. It works really well.
Wow.
Yeah.
We have some, fashionable product as well with a metal frame in the base of this sofa set. And, this is kind of very millennial. It's, industrial / with a little mid-century modern flair. But handsome, smaller size scale for small space.
And it's also got the reversible seat cushions, just in case, because there's some things like a Sharpie that you can't remove, because kids, again. But they
Spoken like a mother.
Yeah, so they are reversible seat cushions. It's feathered down with a pocket coil foam core, and it is really comfortable. Like it's just that, like I know a lot of furniture is tailored toward guys, and it's that Bubba-ish look, but this is like that happy compromise between the husband and wife, where it is a little more manly and it's still pretty.
Comfortable yet elegant and sleek.
Yes. And then we do have a lot of our mattresses, or not a lot, we have a collection of our mattresses over here. It's just a small portion, but that's where we do show it, I think, starting from here onward. Yeah. So we have the inner spring and the foam mattresses throughout, so we just didn't put any bed coverings to display it. And we have, I know there are different price categories. Our adjustable bed bases are also over there. So I know there's different features, and I might be like, I don't know if it's like, if these are all the features, but my brother takes care of that category. There's like lumbar and headrest and footrest. So it goes like in different tiers. So there's the simple adjustable bed base, which I think we sell the most of, and obviously the step-ups.
Is there anything else that you want to show us in the showroom?
The triple bunk. We have a triple bunk bed that does really well. I mean, it's great for
triple
those.
bunk.
Yeah, it does really well for small spaces. I know, like having, because all bunk beds are just for two, right? But not everybody just has two kids. Like we have a coworker who just bought this. She doesn't have a big space, but she has 3 kids. So this was perfect.
Wow.
And then we don't only have it in wood, we have like wood, metal. Now we've expanded to like twin, full, queen, like different varieties of it.
That's really space efficient.
Mm-hmm. And kids love it. When my kids come here to play, this is their play area. Right here. They love it here. So, and they really want this bed in the house. I'm like, we only have 2 of you guys.
They'll think of something to do with the third one.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They'll fight over the space in between, right?
Yeah.
I have the top, I have the bottom, and they'll fight for the middle.
Yeah. So we just built this as like our central, like basically for our will call customers, because it gives them a place to go. It helps them like organize everything, have a direct point of contact. I think previously, it's basically just to help streamline the process, because a lot of people have the counter over there where they wait for will call, and over here they wait for shipping or their pallets.
And so you've added it kind of like a waiting area.
We do. Yeah. That's where we give them the coffee. If you guys want coffee, or snacks.
So is this unique to California, or do you have a will call business in your other
We have a
DCs
will
as
call
well?
business everywhere. Yeah. So will call is part of our bread and butter only because we do serve as their warehouse. Some customers come every single day to pick up. It's just they're like they utilize us as a warehouse. We measure them. This is like their leaderboard to see like who's doing best. Gives them like a sense of competitiveness. We do this in all branches.
Huh?
Yeah. People are competitive.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Now, so this is all outgoing? Do you have separate docks
We
for things?
have inbound and outbound, I believe.
Inbound is on that side.
Yeah.
Outbound
So this is
is
outbound
this
right
side.
here.
Do you know how many docks?
Ooh, a lot. We have.
On a weekly basis, I know how much
the
we
ducks,
unload.
I think like over 50 ducks, or 100.
But on a weekly basis, I think this facility processes like, I think it's like 50 containers per day.
50 containers a day?
So that's
Wow.
in and out. In and out. So one of the things that we have in California is in-rack sprinklers, because we have the fire retardant, you know, what is it? The TB 117 2013. So we have in-rack sprinklers and everything that has upholstery. So this area is all upholstery. So these have in-rack sprinklers.
This is a lot of furniture.
Just imagine multiply this by
7.
And 2 additional distribution centers, so 9 locations.
We hold a lot of inventory at once. A lot.
Your logistics department must be very good.
They have a lot of work. So we have several parts of our logistics. The ones that order, that manage inventory, and the ones that have to, like just the warehouse manager alone has to play Tetris in their own warehouse, you know? So the warehouse manager has his own task for him.
Yeah, it hadn't even occurred to me how difficult it would be to get all of these different sizes to fit into all of these different spaces to maximize the space.
Yep. That's why we try to get buildings as tall as possible so we can maximize all the way up to the top. See, like that, those are pretty close.
Yeah, they're all the way up top.
Yep.
Wow, that goes on as long as this.
Yes. We're almost there.
And all this is just e-com.
Well, the entire facility is service to e-com and brick and mortar, but this section is dedicated as far as the staffing and warehouse management to service our e-com partners.
So like these
Because-
shipments are for e-commerce.
Yeah.
I think it's
14 million cubic feet of furniture.
I feel like it's that much. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you have to realize that if the scale of our business, like the second importer in the furniture industry, is not a joke. You know,
Yeah.
it's so many containers are coming in.
Probably could wrap around the earth a couple times.
It's kind of scary.
That would be an interesting thing, wouldn't it? To say we sell enough furniture to wrap around the globe 3 times.